Welcome to another Field of Glory 2 medieval multiplayer ranked battle. This is a paired match against Blaze 80 with the German 1050 list versus the Byzantine 1042 list. Now, in this matchup, I've decided to go with 6 Knights and Sergeants. The Byzantine list on the other side has a crap ton of cavalry it can bring, so we have decided to go basically max on our missile units, just across the board, as I suspect they will be pretty instrumental in bringing the demise of this kind of list. Decided to skip on the dismounted Knights and Sergeants. I quite like these units normally, but in this instance he's got a lot of really cheap cav that isn't particularly good at fighting in melee, especially not at breaking defensive spears. He only gets 3 units of Knights and Sergeants, which if we're able to disrupt is going to safeguard our line, and in cases where he does have, say he brings one of those Knights, we've got 6 of our own that we can bring to the fray as well. Against his foot, the defensive spears we're bringing are also going to be incredibly useful, as he has a ton of these scutatoi and archers. These are only going to do so well against other defensive spears, just on account of the fact that there's only 50% of the unit having them. These units are geared more towards fighting cavalry. But overall, we'll see what he decides to bring against this. Was kind of iffy about the raw crossbows, but just given how much cavalry he has, I think we can actually get a lot of value here. It's kind of how I felt about these raw defensive spears as well. Thought there was potential to get a lot of value here, and we're actually able to spread our line really wide in this kind of checkerboard formation. So let's see how this works out for us. Alright, next turn. So he's gone heavy into the scutatoi and archers, like really heavy into them. He's got quite a few of them. Both of the Klippenofroi, as we would have suspected. 3 Knights and Sergeants, and the 2 Byzantine Lancers he's forced to come with. Also went hard on these Nomad Horse Archers. As we've discussed though, in the deployment, we are certainly well equipped to deal with this. I mean, these Nomads just get absolutely chewed up if they push this line, so I'm feeling pretty content about that. Now, when it comes to the Scutatoi and Archers, let's see. He's got the full ones. He got both of the Varangian Guard as well. It's really interesting. Probably be able to zone those out with our Knights, but yeah, as far as these go, I mean, I think even raw spears give these units some trouble just because of the lack of spear capability. Interestingly, let's see, how many spearmen do we have on this flank? Quite a few, and I think we'll come back to these raw spears. We'll decide what to do with them later. For starters, do we need to like stay? I don't think we even need to like stay in this like super safe position here. I think I'm perfectly content pushing up ever so slightly and then relocating these Knights to be able to re-engage over here on the right flank for us. So we'll push those units forward. I think I'm trying to decide where I want to get these units through at. We could wait a turn, or at the very least just, only push up part of the line and decide what we want to do with the Knights, like, momentarily. I think that sounds completely reasonable. Now, none of these raw crossbows, not the best units. They are very cheap though, and against this much cavalry, certainly comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. Not to mention they can shoot at lights, not particularly well, but they can do it, and since they're massed bow units, I think it's going to work well in our favor just to have them at all, because they could potentially get within 2 range of these and shoot, which could be useful. We'll keep these Knights in reserve. I think these raw spears we will also just kind of keep in like the direct center here, just to see what he does. It looks like he's going really heavy on this right flank potentially. Like maybe he thinks he like sees like a weakness or something, and to that effect, I think I'm actually gonna move over a couple of my knights, just maybe like one unit, just to make sure we don't get like flanked too easily. And yeah, I think looking pretty good here. If he pushes these horse archers, I mean they'll just get absolutely butchered. I'm not not worried about this line of units at all. This spear crossbow checkerboard completely solves this engagement, so we're not worried about that. The knights in the center may be a little bit more dangerous, but we do have some defensive spears and bows and crossbows ready for those as well. So we'll see. Next turn. Okay, he's going for the disruption on my lights. It's perfectly reasonable. Doesn't get it though. He's pushing up the scoots. Straightening out his line. Making it all pretty. As you do. And let's go ahead and give him some shots. I say. We'll go for the slingers in the rough here. Wow, no check, huh? Okay. It's gonna be one of those days. No, I'm just kidding. The match just started. Alright. Okay, held firm. Held firm. That's a shame. All right. I think looking at it, we've actually got the cavalry advantage over here potentially, because we have 3 cav, but he's got these Byzantine lancers, one into the clibs and the knights and sergeants, and we've also got 2 supporting crossbowmen units. So I'm gonna continue to swing wide with these, with this section here in particular, I would say. Very particular thing here. I don't want him to get many shots on these knights and sergeants, like if any at all. So. Try to move these crossbowmen more towards the center. This way, if, you know, when he's pushing really hard with these knights and sergeants and clibs, we can really give him a hard time. And then we're going to pass the general on to these knights here for one reason, more or less. And that reason, of course, is to just be able to give an answer to these Varangian Guard. Hold off on committing the knights too hard for just one more turn, as we really don't want to get shot up, especially by like these lights, for example. And where we currently are, I don't think he can do that too much, just on account of the fact that he's only got javelin men and slingers, so he doesn't really have the range to shoot at these quite like he might be hoping he can. As for the rest of the line, let's move these crossbows up. Knights here, ready to answer, potentially. Most likely going to answer the non-general ones, as otherwise these units will get absolutely chewed up. And basically, you know, we're going to be hoping here that we're able to disrupt his cavalry before they can punch through our line. But let's see how it looks next turn. Next turn. Okay, moves and shoots with the Scutatoi, including some long-range shooting. Not super sure about the long-range shooting with the Scutatoi there. Okay, he's pushing in with the horse archers. He's going for, yeah, he's going for the disruption on the cross spears. That's fine. That's okay. They did their job. They were cost effective. That's what matters here. Okay, so looks really bad in melee. However, if he charges us, we're up 125. So, you know, that definitely counts for something. Let's think about the rest of this front, though. So these raw spears we lose on impact, potentially. We could general up here, and then we're definitely winning once they stick. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and start turning those knights around. Get the checkerboard set up here. And again, the big problem here with the Clibanaphoroi, we really need to disrupt one of these units on the approach here. If not, we are kind of in a losing position. Alright, now how do we want to deal with this? I think, let's see what happens if we charge into these lights. Okay, we charge into the regular Scutatoi, that's good. Okay, and then, yeah, we're winning ever so slowly. Let's get these spearmen ready to get involved here now. We could just go for the disruption on these slingers in the rough here. I think that's a perfectly acceptable thing to do. Yeah, shoot with the light crossbow, or the raw crossbows. Hold again. Alright, no trouble. Get our spearmen ready to get stuck in. I think we're content to, because of the angle that he's currently at, I think we're definitely content to just wait a turn so that we can move these raw spears up like this and cover the rest of the line. Something interesting here is that if we get a disruption on one of these cav units, we could potentially use these raw spears to flank the Scutatoi, at which point we're like definitely like super winning. Can we move that far in turn? No, sadly. I don't think we can. We could with this unit, but they're definitely going to zone us out next turn, so we're not going to go for that. Even though flanks is always super juicy in this game. Now, let's think about this. If we moved up to zone his Varangians, there is a problem, and that problem is twofold. One, they have a lot of lights ready to answer. And the other problem is these Clibanaphoroi. So, I think definitely, can we move far enough to like shoot this turn? I think we could actually. So why don't we do that? Why don't we send some season's greetings? Okay, holds firm. That's fine. Kind of expected it, to be honest. And let's see, same thing here. So let's see if we can get a disruption on these nomads. Nice. Another disruption, very nice. Okay, we're almost certainly going to go for these raw spearmen next turn. Not super worried about it though, for the simple reason. I guess it's not that simple of a reason, is it? Now, what do we want to do with these other archers that haven't shot yet? Do we just take a shot at the Varangians? Not entirely convinced that that's the right call. Set up here, go for the shot. Okay, they're still just gonna hold. See if we can get stuck in. Okay. Got them off the field, and that matters for one reason, which is that now we can charge in with these knights potentially. Ooh, I don't know, that's scary, isn't it? It's really spooky. The raw spears actually lose on impact, which is hilarious. 60% loss chance there. Let's see. So these are definitely within charge range. I think we're going to send the spearmen over there. General up. And I think we go and zone out the Varangians. Okay. Big fan of that. Shoot the Knights and Sergeants again. Just try to break that flank as much as possible. Have some Knights ready to do some counter-charging. I mean, he can force his units to get stuck, but I don't know as that really helps him all that much. With these being Lancers especially, I don't think he has a very good chance here. I mean, look, we've got 150 versus... honestly, I think that's even. Like, I don't think he can charge through. I mean, even with Elite, that's just regular Lancer POA versus Spearman. He might actually be losing that. Definitely at least even, though. Let's push off these raw... or, these crossbowmen, shall we? Okay, tough choice here. We could move in and zone out these Skutatoi. That's factually correct. However, ideally I would like to set up here for if he does do that, so that we can get the flank. However, we could also do that with the raw spearmen next turn. So I don't think that there's necessarily, it's not really an emergency to get started on that. Now, let's just go ahead and fully zone out these horse archers. Sadly, I don't think we're in range of those knights and sergeants, but we will go to here and take a full arc shot. We could potentially roll 24 here. Okay, didn't get it, but that's okay. Alright, and then, again, he probably charges here on these raw spears. But even if he does, I think we're going to be just fine. Can't transfer the general to him this turn, sadly. But I think that that'll be okay. And we'll leave the crossbowmen, or the general on these crossbowmen for the time being. Maybe just transfer it over to one of these units, like this unit here. And then if these raw spears could potentially make use of it, we'll have access to it next turn. Okay, and then the last question, I think the best thing to do with these knights would be to just move them up and prepare to potentially charge in on some of these other units here. So, all right, let's see what happens. Obviously, a lot of everything on this flank comes down to whether or not we can get disruption or not. So we'll see if that pans out for us. I believe that 2 raw crossbows is enough to score a disruption. It's at least got to be a chance, right? But we'll see if that works out. Long turn, jeez. Next turn. Okay, gets the rear attack on those lights. Unfortunate, but well. Gets the disruption on these regular defensive spears as well. actually lose a melee against the Scutato archers with the general, no less, so that's unfortunate. Okay, breaks those lights. Well, just out of curiosity. Okay, yeah, we're up 125 in impact against the Varangian Guard. Alright. Okay, so we're slightly losing this because of... So we lose impact for sure, and then in melee, we're up 15, but because of the combat strength difference on these raw spears, we're actually not winning the melee immediately. It's really good to know. We're going to re-engage here. Hopefully this time we stick. Of course not. Alright, well, the best laid plans and all that. Let's see. Go for some shots on these knights. Okay, no dice on the disruption. Let's see. We'll just set up for the melee to begin next turn, but then with this positioning there's potentially a chance, depending on how he charges, for the raw crossbows to get a flank somehow. So we'll be looking forward to that. We'll go ahead and engage here. We'll zone him out here. And how do we want to handle these? I mean, these light javelins, we'll just shoot them. Get the disruption. Okay, charge these Roscutatoi. Ooh, they disrupt. Excellent. That sets us up for a flank next turn, unless he moves in zones again, at which point we can counter-charge again, which is nice. Fortunately, these raw spears, even with the general, are getting squished by these Varangian Guard. Not ideal. But we'll go ahead and re-engage the Varangian Guard here. Let's see. I think there's definitely an opportunity here. I'm trying to decide how I want to go about this, but I think we start by shooting with the archers here against the Cliven Envoy. We'll move and then turn and shoot. Okay, we can't turn and shoot again after that. So, not quite what I would have wanted. Let's shoot these knights and see what happens. Okay, they hold. Let's shoot at these clibs. They also hold. Okay. We're going to charge these Byzantine Lancers, though. They frag on impact, which is excellent. That could be huge. It's so many units getting hit by a morale check there. And let's see. What do we want to potentially disrupt here? These raw spears are losing to the Nomad Horse Archers in melee. To be expected, I suppose. These light crossbows are going to break most likely. I guess the question is, do we go for a disruption or do we go for a frag? I think going for disruption is maybe the better move here. But also, this horse archer's in full arc of these raw crossbows. Okay, he holds firm. I think we're gonna go for a significant casualties check. There we go. Because this would allow us to potentially just like charge him and he breaks. Okay, no disruption. On top of that, go for the 2-range shot here. Just barely out of, I think, a check range on that, unfortunately. Let's see, these archers aren't doing anything, are they? So we can start moving them towards the horse archers, like, a couple turns from now, from the look of it. Right, let's see what happens to these defensive spears. Okay, they hold firm after losing 40 units, so pretty devastating losses there. Let's go for a cycle charge on these. It was only 17%, so wasn't particularly likely to happen. Okay, and these defensive spears are gonna lose sooner rather than later, it would seem. You know, but we are winning in other parts of the line, so not a big deal. Alright, and we'll see how this shakes out next turn. It's looking pretty even. You know, we're winning in some places, losing in some places, so looks like these horse archers are unfortunately going to break these raw spears next turn, which means these raw crossbows are probably soon to follow. But we're definitely more concerned about this situation here, I would say, for sure. Something we may want to consider doing is, well, we may want to consider turning these spears, but I don't know if it's the right call, just because he could turn with these horse archers next turn. On the other hand, if we do this, he can't charge across our zone of control to these crossbowmen, which would be good. That would be good if he didn't do that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move these here. Obviously these can't charge across, so these knights have to charge those defensive spears and then stick, basically, if he wants to charge across. So, alright, let's see what happens next turn. Next turn. Awesome, these spearmen hold. These spearmen hold. Okay, those raw spears break, as we kind of suspected that they would. Oh, we actually win the melee on these clibs, and they disrupt. That's massive, honestly. Okay, oh, we get a disruption on those Skutatoi. Okay, hold firm. Okay, frag. Okay, he does move into zone out, as I suspected he would. Okay, he disrupts on that charge there. Okay, we frag. He pushes back. I think that puts us in flank range, does it not? If not with these knights, then definitely with those. Okay, he disrupts himself on our knights. Really good luck for us here, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Okay, let's see. So, probably the first thing we want to do is shoot at these knights, I would think. But let's think about this. So is this a flank? This is not a flank, unfortunately. So ideally what we need to do here now is just completely, utterly destroy these Varangian Guard. To that end, we're going to try something a little bit risky here. I'm going to charge at these Byzantine Lancers with my archers. Although, I wonder if we could go for a ranged break. Let's see. Get 12 here. Get another 10 here. And then with the archers, this should be enough. Okay. I just realized I stopped myself from getting the flank on the Varangians now, unfortunately. To that end, we're going to go ahead and charge these Roskatatoi. Let's get these archers out of the way. Again, really ashamed of myself for letting that go. I let the shooting get the better of me. It happens, I suppose. What do we want to shoot at? I mean, disrupting the clibs would be awesome, but disrupting most of these units would be awesome. So, speaking of, let's go ahead and shoot at these nomads, see what we can get done here. Okay, they hold firm. It means these raw crossbows are probably dead next turn. A shame, but it happens. So, let's shoot these clibs, see what happens, right? Okay, they hold firm. Shoot these Nomad horse archers, they disrupt. Shoot these knights and sergeants. Since we take the shot, move up one, shoot them again. They hold firm, but they're looking pretty rough for it. Now the only way this works out for us is basically, well, let's go ahead and zone these out again. Basically, these units need to hold for one more turn, even though they're fragged. They do have the general, but let's see. Let's see what they do. Looks like they're gonna break. Okay. So then what we need to do is we need to hard zone out these clibs. And then we need to survive one round of melee with the Varangians, I think. So let's think about this. If he moves the scoots here, what happens, right? So the first problem is obviously with these Varangians, if he charges into these knights and sergeants, we're not able to bounce. So that's bad in and of itself. On top of that, these scoots are in a position to potentially move here and zone us out. Although, looking at it, I don't think, like even if he moves here, he isn't able to zone us out from attacking this, and then our spearmen are still zoning out these clibs, which means he's not going to be able to, like get in here to attack these archers. So I think it's a good idea to attack these Varangians. We've only got a 6% chance to lose. We're gonna lose one melee, but that's okay because next turn we're going to hit them from the flank. Hopefully with the knights and sergeants. I don't think the archers are going to be ideal here for breaking those, but you know, we'll see. So yeah, we'll see. Can we... Yeah, we're going to move these archers this way, and the reason for that is if these Scutatoi move here, we need to be able to get these archers out of the way either by moving forward or by moving backward. Probably backward, because even if these disrupt, it's better to get them away from dangerous melee situations. Now, how well are we actually winning on some of these melees? Let's see, we lose 19% there, lose 20% there. Let's see what happens if these break, and I think they're going to break. That is. We could break zone of control here by charging this unit. We could do that by charging this unit as well. Let's just go for it. If we stick the melee, we're in a winning position, ever so slightly. So I'm in favor of doing that for sure. Probably what we do here is pile in on this unit. Well, let's go here and try to break zone of control. Okay, we actually win on that melee, which is huge. It gets things a lot closer to being in our favor again. And then, provided we don't lose melee for a while, which we probably won't, we can get in on this unit or potentially just attack this unit since it's already broken. Let's just go for that, or disrupted rather. Okay, we get the frag, which is awesome. Let's see what happens. This unit breaks. Okay, these spearmen hold firm. He probably zones us out next turn, but that's okay. I think that's okay. Now, let's look at some of these other melees here. Now, I don't even think we need to shoot. I think we just charge after these lancers. Yeah, so we're probably gonna win here on this flank. These are holding steady because the clibs disrupted. These knights are winning against these knights. This was super lucky here. This one especially, and also against the clibs to be honest. But some really good engagements here. And then probably what we can do is let's see. It's gonna have these raw spears. We'll really need these. Really would like these to rally for sure. And then these raw crossbows. I don't even know what I want to do with these, to be honest. Like, if we want to perhaps move them backwards a little bit so that they can shoot later, that might be not the most crazy thing that's ever popped into my head playing this game. All these crossbows have shot. These spearmen probably able to hold next turn. We'll see. He's probably unable to... Well, I mean, he could turn these Nomad Horse Archers to try to frag them if he really wanted to. But we'll see what happens there. Most likely, he charges these Raw Crossbows with his Nomads and gets them to break. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's developing in certainly a very interesting way, I think. Next turn, his Raw Scutatoi rallied, but they're still losing to our Raw Spears, I think. Okay, he's gonna smash these Raw Crossbowmen. Small losses, honestly. Okay, disrupt his Byzantine Lancers, frag the Knights and Sergeants. Okay, Raw Spears holding on for now. Okay, another unit of Raw Spears disrupts, man. Not looking great there. They do disrupt, unfortunately. Goes for the impact on the Spearmen, and the Clibs hold. It's interesting. Alright, well, time to do something I should have done last turn, but didn't, because I'm a dummy sometimes. We're gonna move these archers, I think, to here, and then we'll go for the rear charge on these Varangians. Okay, they do hold firm, but things are looking better now for our, for these knights that are still in melee. And I think we're gonna leave them in combat one more turn. This feels evil. These poor knights are like, please let me out of here. You gotta let me out, man. And I'm like, no, you gotta stay in. We need to get the auto drop next turn. You don't understand. Trust me, it's all part of the strategy. Alright, we're gonna go for the disruption, or the frag on these horse archers, and then attempt to break them by pushing them off. Okay, don't get a disruption on either of those units, that's fine. Alright, let's see. Probably, this is a tough call. Probably what we want to do is go for the disruption on these knights here, as they're in a very problematic situation, or location for us. Okay, they hold firm. I think that's despite significant nope, that's not significant casualties yet. Okay. Oh, crap. Okay, hold on. Can we get long range shooting here? Not really, and not well. Okay. That is a problem. To heck with it, shoot anyway. Nope, still didn't get it. It was worth a shot. Alright, these spearmen are losing in melee, which is why the Clibs are sticking. Just that general plus armor advantage really costing my spearmen a lot here. I'd really love to disrupt those knights. I just don't think it's going to happen this turn, sadly. We also don't want to give these knights a free flank, because that could also be potentially disastrous for us. We do have long-range shots on these knights, so we'll go for that. And pile in with these crossbows as well. They hold firm. That's fine. Let's go ahead and set up an auto-drop here, since we're not going to be able to stop these knights. I mean, we could zone them out for next turn. But I think that this is potentially more important. Okay, let's see what happens. Use melee, hold firm. That's good. And we are winning against these Raw Scutatoi. That's good. Okay, they disrupt. Awesome. And let's see. Probably go for the shots on these light javelins. It's not much, but it could potentially count towards the score we need to win. Okay. Alright, let's see how things shake out over here. Really want to see if this unit breaks. He breaks. Oh, we get the flank on the Clibs. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh, the flank charge. All the scoots. Oh my gosh. Oh, the whole line could collapse here. Oh, that's incredible. There's no feeling like that. Like in this game than that one. That's so good. We're gonna send these raw crossbows forward as well. Oh man. This is looking beautiful now. Alright. Let's see. Oh yeah, these raw crossbows are gonna just bite the bullet here. That's fine. Oh, hey, you held for 2 turns. Well done. Well done. I think that's all we have for now, but man, what a turn. What a turn. Amazing. Next turn. Okay, his Varangians rally. That's kind of bad, but not particularly this turn, just because we still do have Knightly Lancer impact on them. Those raw crossbows break. Oh no. Okay. Oh, those defensive spears hold. Excellent. The crossbows hold, probably due to the general. Oh, yep, there's the auto drop on those raw spears. Oh, they hold for an extra turn, or an extra combat anyway. Okay. Hold for now. And we get the break. Okay, there's a break. Should be another flank charge. Nice. That's what we're talking about. The frag. Another break. Alright, now it's time to hit him with the old you can't run away cav. I would say trick, but that feels a little generous, all things considered. So we're going to move our knights here, move the lights up, force these knights to stay in contact. We frag them anyway, and we actually get an auto drop with the archers now. So let's think about this. What can we potentially do with some of these knights now that we can like auto drop here? So can we charge like that? No, we have to charge this way. All right. This is potentially super dangerous, but we're gonna try it because he can't zone us out anymore. We're gonna turn these we're gonna move these crossbows here. Send these spearmen to their doom. Okay, they disrupt, sadly. But now this is where it gets really, really nasty. So we're gonna go for the auto. We're gonna go for the melee here. And go for the auto drop on these raw scoots. They break, and we should get a... Yep, there's the flank charge. They break. Oh my goodness. It's a massacre. Across the line. And the clibs disrupt as well. And on top of that, we've got a flank charge set up here. Get the auto drop on those Varangians. They also break. Oh my goodness. This might be over this turn, honestly. Another break. That's 26%. Wow. What a turn. Alright. Let's see. We're gonna have these knights here meet a grisly end, just in case. Block off the retreat of these horse archers, which disrupt, which means they're doomed. And we're gonna start shooting these knights. They disrupt, but we're not content with just disruption. No, no, no. These knights must die. I've decreed it. There's the auto break. And there's a frag. Oh my goodness. Must be my birthday. Alright, the clips fall back. That's honestly sensible. We could shoot them. I'm just saying, it's right there. Oh, we gotta check off that. It's crazy. Alright. And that should be game, unless something of his rallies, so... we'll see. And I mean, even if something does rally, we've got... these knights are, like, ready to do some flank charges. It's just really bad. Could shoot with the raw crossbows, I guess, but like, what's the point? But sure, let's just do our due diligence. Weaken these scoots a little bit. You know, doing the attritional damage from these kinds of units is always interesting to me, because it's hard to put a value on the like 5% combat strength or whatever you might get from doing it over a prolonged period. But obviously the main reason you want to use projectile units is to get cohesion drops, because then your melee units can get in and cleanly win the engagement, as it were. And alright, that's it. Let's see. This should be game, unless he gets a bunch of rallies. Is game. He does get a rally, but we've done so much catastrophic damage to his line at this point that he's not going to be able to recover. Alright, great. So, a few thoughts about this match. I think I played well to what he did. The raw spears were, in fact, a cost-effective deterrent to his Skutatoi. Even though they didn't push through them, they delayed them and prevented them from getting any disruptions or anything like that. And even if the raw spears break, of course, you're not losing that much route percentage from it. You're not losing that much point value from it. We definitely got lucky here on this flank, for sure, with the charges that happened. For him to get 2 charges like that and then disrupt on both of them is pretty rough, honestly. But even if he had, stuck that better, we could have piled in with some of these raw crossbows by moving around to flank them. And without any ranged units on this side, he was forced into that charge. So I'd say the raw crossbows were definitely worth their value there. And it wasn't like we were completely lucky, these raw spears lost a couple of melees that were either even or even in their favor in the case of this general here. But yeah, completely drowned out the Varangians. Big problem, in my opinion, with these like elite offensive spear type units, especially these like particularly expensive ones. The veteran Muslim spears are kind of a different story because their price point is much more agreeable while still being superior. These Varangians will kill anything they can get stuck in melee with. The problem is getting them into a situation where they're able to do that. And another problem with this unit, in my opinion, is the fact that the Byzantines don't really have a good foot list to support it. I mean, a unit like this, highly superior offensive spears, this unit does great in like a Swedish list or something where there's a ton of like offensive spears that can support it, or even among the more traditional like Western European lists. The Ringing Guard would be, I think, a welcome addition. But for the Byzantines, I don't know, this unit just doesn't seem to really fit the rest of the roster, other than just being a really expensive roadblock, because the rest of the Byzantine army is just so focused on using their archers to their best ability. If you were to use Varangians, I would think you'd want to do something like use them in a checkerboard with Skutatoi. That way the Scoots can keep shooting while the Varangians tank any charges that you might run into. But even then, this unit gets blocked out by knights and can't charge knights and can be cycle charged by knights, especially when you go up against the later knights. I think it just gets even worse for these Varangians, especially if you don't have a general on them and your opponent's able to get a general on their knights. It's just, like, yeah, I think this unit, based on what I understand about Ancients, would be a much better unit in Ancients. But here in Medieval, I am not particularly impressed with Varangians, although I always bring them for the cool factor, right? Something else I definitely noticed is I don't think he brought enough lights. Like, there was no light cav anywhere. So definitely a big mistake on his part there. Light cav do really well in this matchup, just because they're able to get around some of the foot and, cause a lot of problems that way. Especially when working in conjunction with, say, the horse archers. Like imagine if on this front here, like, yes, I had the crossbows, yes, I had the checkerboard, but if he'd had some lights, and could have skirmished around, and he really could have caused some problems for me over here. And that just didn't happen. So, and of course, in the center here, we had some really interesting things happen, where we were able to get a lot of auto drops and the like at the end there. That definitely just sealed the deal. So, yeah, great match overall. Thank you to my opponent here, and I'll see you on the next one.